So what can we do in this class besides write form tags? We can style them. They totally are, they're just tags. So they can be styled in CSS just like any other tag. Can be styled in CSS. I'm going to just do it up here so it's all contained in one file together. And some options might be the following. So before I was saying you could maybe do something fancy with whether they're block or inline or so forth. Let me see what we have currently. So this is our default look. And I'm going to say that I need to put some space between my forms, right? So I'm going to make these, and maybe I'd like all my forms to go on their same line, okay? Let's do that. Space between the elements and so forth. So now look at these tags though. They're all inputs. Input. I think I am going to show you something fancy today that you'll like. So if I want to style them all, and let's say they're input tags, margin bottom 0.5 em. Save, refresh. Instant space for all input items. Nice, that looks great. Now let's say I want to make the submit button look a little different than it does, okay? Anything else? I'd like it to be, well actually I'm in the middle of a rule here. So I would like the background color to be blue, sky blue. And maybe we'll give it a little bit of a drop shadow. 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 4 pixels, 0 pixels, black. It's gonna be a little gross. Fresh. Trouble, right? Because I'm styling not just the submit button, but every single input tag, right? Tough times. How do I confine these to just the submit button? Enter the magical world of attribute selectors. If you were playing the CSS Diner game, you might have gotten up to this and learned them from that game. Input, type equals submit. Bang. This is the only fancy selector I'm going to show you today for forms because it's so useful for forms. I think you'll find it handy. This is an attribute selector. Note the square brackets. There's no quotes necessary in here. You can just bang it out, type equals submit. This should match the same thing that we have down here, type equals submit. This restricts me to the submit buttons. Refresh, done. If I wanted it to apply to the reset button, then I could write a comma selector and have that happen. I hope you find this little tidbit useful because it's about the most useful type of selector and you'll find yourself using it a lot when you're styling for forms. The other thing I will say is that form is also a tag, just like input is a tag. So if I want to say put a border around my whole form, so form, let's say I want to put a border that's 1 pixel solid. Actually, black is fine. And maybe I'll put a border radius on there of 10 px. And save and refresh. I can do that. It does each individual form. Maybe I want to put a width on there. Width, 25% of the page. Maybe I want to put a bottom margin on there, 2 em. Now I've got 2 forms. Maybe I want some padding. Save and refresh. So you can style forms with the form tag. You can put IDs on these forms if you need to keep them separate from each other on the page. Just to remind you, input and form are tags we haven't seen before, but you can use them because they are tags, you can just use the names of them. And have a look at that one, super cool.